Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're well. I am well myself. My name is Wanyiha Jindut. For those we haven't met, you're very welcome into this space. And we are doing a series on the altars that we were fighting. I love that I can say we were fighting because that was a hard battle, yeah? And we just came out of a 21-year battle. Spiritual warfare that we didn't even know that we were fighting. Yeah, God would just reveal in part. Okay, now when I look back, I see that in every one of the seasons He would promise us a thing. Yeah, He would show us what the season would be like at this onset. Yeah, and now we are more aware because we have learned, right? We have been in it 3 seasons of 7 years each, and it was quite consuming. Okay, but He has never left us nor forsaken us. Yeah, and now because we got all these things for free, it is time now to give also for free. Okay, now this has been tough and it's been messy, and it's a time where it's so crucial that this is happening, and it's happening where like there's all this expose in the world. There's so much going on, so much going down, and it's just amazing to see. Okay, so today I'm going to share 2 dreams that allowed me to see or made me realize what battle we've been on. And it would be after now coming back here after. Okay, so we've stayed abroad 5 years, and then we went home. Yeah, and so we would meet all the different members of our family and share and fellowship with them, just get to know how the family is doing. We would still know if we were here, but I think God wanted us to come into agreement or just understand the family situation. Now I've done videos that I was showing how the situation of the home, or just how the home looks like, yeah, is a reflection of the people, okay, of the spiritual welfare of the family. Yeah, so many people will be living in a home. People will even come to visit and think this is okay. So it takes a person who is fighting a spiritual welfare to actually call it out. And people will see sometimes that there's something wrong with this home, or they will remark, there was this smell in that home, like the smell of cockroaches, or a place where there used to be rats. Yeah, you will know because of the smell. Yeah, I've gone to such places. Let me tell you this thing about the smell. I think God uses this sense of smell for me to alert me of something. Because when I was a kid, yeah, like if I was sent anything, even a matchbox, I would smell it, I would sniff it, yeah, and it would drive my mother crazy. But she would say, you know what, my grandmother used to be that way as well. Yeah, so her grandmother was also called Nduta, and she's the one I am named after. I wish I could just learn so much about this woman, but it really doesn't matter because like I understand now what God has equipped me with. And terrible and messy as this is, it's an honor to stand in the gap like that. Yeah, and I believe that God is setting free our family, and in doing so He's also setting other people free. In our journey, God has used other people's families too to help us, to fight for us, to intercede for us. I can only imagine what they had to do to just rescue us from where we were, we were caged, from the places where we were, and faithfully sending us to the next place, sending us to the next person who would do the work for us until we reached where we could stand on our own 2 feet. Yeah, and for that I just pray for blessings for everyone who's been involved. It's a lot of people, and if I'm doing this, it's because other people have also participated in our lives, and some got hurt and injured in the process. Okay, so that is how tough battle can be sometimes. But as we edify others, God also now blesses us, okay, for whatever work we do. And yeah, this work may seem like it's voluntary. It is not, okay? You're chosen even before you know. Now let's go to the dreams. So in this 2-year period when we came back, I think 2023 was a year of battle, yeah? Me battling for my family, and just, trying to understand what what was going on, yeah, taking care of our brother and all of that, trying to adjust into the home situation. Now I was even getting very, very broke and wondering, okay, what is happening, yeah? And I still could not get employed, okay? But there was something very, very funny about this season. It was like we had so much joy despite not being financially stable, okay? And we can't say that, okay, at some point now it became like one person, who is my husband, was carrying the heavy load, yeah? So if it's a weighing scale, one side toppled, yeah? But we would try and do as much as we could to just help each other. Now, I learned from the African Girl Empowered that will happen. It has happened in all these seasons that we fought, but we could never document it quite like that, yeah? But it's like we had this understanding, yeah, of what was happening. So eventually now God would bring teachers for me to understand, yeah? And the teachers I mentioned, and I think I shared their links in one of the videos I would come to. So one would be explaining all the things I went through in marriage, what the counterfeits do, how they attack you, how they make you now even doubt your own existence, yeah, and what power they're using. And because of using that power, God can really not honor them, yeah. So your husband could leave you, like marriage can break and people can divorce and marry other people. Fine and dandy, and God would still bless them. But the moment you touch witchcraft, God is not with you, okay? He will fight you every step of the way. You cannot win another through witchcraft, especially one who is being prayed for. And God will alert the people who, because nobody comes on their own, yeah? So every person you meet is attached to another, attached to a family, attached to, some parents, and all, even orphans, yeah, are attached to people who are praying for them. And even if they don't have anyone in this world, God will raise someone to fight for them, okay? So you really can't inherit where you haven't, planted, or people who are not called for you, because God calls people for others, okay? And joins people even before they know it, yeah? He knits them together, okay? So yes, there's that, yeah? You can marry other people as long as you don't use witchcraft. There shall be no witchcraft or necromancy in the house of Jacob, the scripture says, okay? So so one of the dreams I would dream eventually, and I didn't have an idea. I thought, like God was alerting me that somebody was going to die. So in our house, like I've described in these other videos, as you enter the gate, you face the main house. Why I call it the main house is because as we were growing up in this place, this was grandmother's main house. Yeah, that is where her bed was. That is where everything of hers was, okay? So she used to live in this house until she got like a bedroom on the side. But this was grandmother's main house, okay? So it's like this is where everything happens, yeah? And also in our dreams, this is where it would feature, mostly my dreams, yeah? And so I would see myself, I'm in this main house, okay? So this house, the door and the window are close to each other and on the same side, yeah? So I'm inside the house, okay? And looking outside where the window is located, it's like it was an open space. And I could see my cousin who was married before me. My lady cousin was also married to a Meru. I could see her and I watched her as she closed up a casket of a baby. So a small casket, right? A small white casket. And she was just closing it up like that chapter is closed. And I realized behind me were dead people, okay? And that is why I would think, oh my God, this dream means I'm the next one, yeah? So at the far end where now my brother who lives there, that is where he has the largest couch, yeah? So on that couch or that area, my grandmother is seated there. My grandma is passed, okay? So she's seated there. And I see my cousin, okay, the son of the lady I'm named after, her name is Nduta. I see my cousin Goch standing. Now my grandmother is seated, this one is standing, okay? This one was the next one to die in our family, okay? And then just next to me is my aunt. My aunt passed when the first day I reported to work at Dieppe, okay? So when I tell you like everything was connected, it was crazy. The first day I reported, it was 28th of November 2018. The first day I reported to work, when I left, they told me aunt has passed, okay? So she's the one next to me. And now I realized that I'm holding a baby. Now there's a way our children in our family, especially, yeah, it's actually all the children, the boys' children, the girls' children, there's a way they look, yeah, just so juicy, light skin, very chunky kids, yeah. And I realized I'm holding one, and as I look, I realize this child is dead. Now, if if you've ever seen me mourn, maybe this dream will make sense. So I just throw my head back and cry, and I scream, and I'm just mourning. Somebody's coming up the stairs. So I notice I'm holding this baby, and I mourn and cry, and as I'm doing that, I realize this child is actually not mine. But I don't know which member of the family this baby is, okay? But I'm crying so much, like I'm seeing my cousin closing the casket, and I realize, okay, so there's one that died, and now there's another that just died in my arms, and I'm crying my heart out. And so the dream ends as I cry, okay? So I'm like, wow, I wake up and think, my God, I am dying. But I write down the dream, okay? Now, that would be fine and dandy. I would continue to think about it, meditate on it, try, I'm praying, just trying to understand. Now, I had another dream, okay? Now, in this dream, I see myself coming with my bag, yeah? This bag, I have it here. And there's a purse I usually have here, okay? So, I know these things, I have them here abroad, okay? But now I come with my bag and I hang it on my mom's bed. But this is a very old bed that we don't use anymore, or my mother doesn't use anymore. And where this bed used to be in that room a long time ago, but now it's my mom's kitchen, okay? So I come and hang my bag there on this metallic bed, okay? So it's showing a time passed, okay? And now I come to this main house, okay? So at the door, I can see this cousin of mine standing, talking to my dead aunt, okay? This cousin that was married before me, okay? So they're talking, they have a very heated conversation, not heated, they're not quarreling, they're just talking very intensely. I look beyond my aunt who is by the sofa, who is standing by the sofa next to the door, okay? So she's facing outward because my cousin is right here by the door. I look beyond them and I see my grandma seated inside. And now I realize just near, all around grandma and all around the corridor now where we are standing, there are so many kids, and so many are just coming towards grandma. All of these kids are coming towards grandma. So many tiny heads, just like I can see a multitude of babies, okay, coming like toddlers, yeah, just coming towards grandma. And so I interrupt these two talking, yeah. And these two share a name, okay? Share an English name, yeah? So, yeah, this is an aunt and, my aunt and my cousin. So I'm talking to my dead aunt, yeah? I'm talking to her animatedly, and I'm telling her something. I don't know what I'm telling her, right? But I interrupt their very heated conversation or intense conversation. So I'm talking to my aunt, and she keeps looking at me, blinking, and I can see she's not offering me the help I need, and neither is my cousin. She's not interjecting, she's not interrupting us. They're just like, okay. So my aunt is listening, my cousin is out of it, like, okay, when you finish, I'll continue my conversation, yeah? But I'm aware that I've interrupted them. So then I realized that I'm actually pregnant with twins, right? But now I get the pain of labor. So I'm in labor, and now I start crying, and I'm telling my aunt, I need these babies. At first I thought it's a tumor. I need these babies taken out, and so she can't help, right? She's dead. But she's looking at, in the dream, she's just looking at me. And my cousin is right there looking at me, not helping. She's alive, but in real life, but she's not helping. So I realized these ones are not going to help me. So I tell my aunt, I'm going to take my purse and go to a doctor I know in my dream mind, I know, I am sure that the doctor will help me with this, even though I don't know it is pregnancy, okay? So I go back to my mom's house and I pick a purse, okay? So this purse now represents being here, okay? And so I do not understand this dream. I wake up from there, I've taken the purse, now I'm telling my aunt I'm going to the doctor, okay? And so I leave. So these dreams are so disturbing, but I don't know what they mean. And so eventually I'm so disturbed. I call now my helper, I call Kim. Some of you guys already know Kim. So I call Kim, I tell him about this dream and many other things that were happening. Kim, what does this mean? And he tells me, oh, all these children you see, it means the dream is one and the same. You remember, like the dream Joseph had to interrupt for Pharaoh, interpret. And he tells me all the family blessings have been cut short when they are just so small, like a baby. Babies means blessings. Yeah, children in the home, they mean blessings. But even before they grow, they are cut short. Okay, so that has been our story. All these kids you see going towards grandma, they are dead. You know, their lives have been cut short, so they are going towards the sleeping grandma. Okay, so all of this, and now even my cousin now is talking to somebody who cannot help because she's passed. Yeah, the Bible says the dead have no influence on the living. I will attach that scripture here. So they cannot do anything for us. Yeah, so even me, I'm talking, and you know, there's nothing that can be done. So I ask, okay, so why do I have this pass, you know? And Kim tells me now, he interprets the dreams for me. Now the next blessing that is to be birthed in this place cannot be birthed in this home, because it will surely die and just go towards grandma, okay? So she's keeping all this, they're all dying and just going to the land of the dead, okay? So all these children you see in this dream, they represent all the blessings that never came to fruition because of the curse, okay? So Kim doesn't even know about the curse, but he's telling me in this family, the blessings never come to fruition, okay? So whatever is born, just when it's a toddler, it just, you know, dies and goes into the dead land, okay? So this auntie and this grandma are inside the house. We who are alive, you know, somewhere just near the door, okay? Even us, we could just go, because that is what seems to be happening. Any good thing that is born, which is a blessing, just goes to death, right? Or to die, okay? So the dream shows that now I'm going to the doctor so I can get that kind of help, and the dream ends. Yeah, so now the interpretation now makes sense, okay, why I dreamt these two dreams. Now eventually, now there's a time I see now in a dream, we are standing outside, yeah, so my husband, everybody, yeah, and we've been going through it. In real life, me and my husband have been going through it, you know, and like I said, the Lord had told my husband, this is going to be a tough year, so watch out, okay? So in this dream, we are standing as a crowd outside my grandmother's house, yeah, in Dandora. And I say, I'm going to the loo, okay? So this is a dream, yeah? I say, I'm going to the loo. I'm very, very pressed. And as I go to the loo, I realize my husband is behind me, and he says, no, that is not just being pressed, okay? That is something coming out. I'm like, you follow me to the loo? He's like, yes, because that is not just being pressed, yeah, it's not normal being pressed. And so I go into the bathroom, yeah, my grandmother's bathroom, and as I go into the bathroom to do my business, I realize I'm crowning, okay? So people who understand the dreams will tell you now what that is. And it's like I did not even realize there was something that was coming, like that was a baby. It took my husband to say, no, that is not just pressure, you know, it is it is a baby coming. So I notice now when I go into the loo, I'm crowning. Now, why do you get dreams of babies? These are blessings that God wants to issue but cannot happen. Whenever they come into a home that is under a curse, they will not be fruitful. And so this is like an explanation of all these years where we try, even when we come abroad, we try, and now this is not, happening until now God, issues a new thing, okay? and so chooses somebody, they will take somewhere else. Yeah, and that is why I was saying God sometimes will relocate you so that the blessing is born in a new place, okay, a different place where it cannot be harmed. Now when you think about how Jesus was born, and you know, he was in danger of being killed by the Herod, the king of that times, yeah, and he sends messengers who are going through his house because they think that is where the king will be born. And now they make him aware that actually there's another king, not in this kingdom, another king being born. And so we've come to pay homage. And he tells them, investigate for me and then come and tell me. But God advises them in a dream, do not go back the same way you came, do not go back by heralds, yeah. And later God would communicate to Joseph that child has to be taken away to Egypt, because if he's born here, or if he continues to live here, he shall be killed along with others. Herod ordered for the children who are born in that time to be killed, okay? So sometimes your blessing cannot manifest where you are born or where you've been living, okay? So God has to take you somewhere else for your blessings to come into fruition, okay? Now I would have a fourth dream, okay? And now this was now showing what is going on as we came to the very end of this season of cleaning, yeah, of fighting altars. Sometimes you don't even know you're fighting them, but it's only through what you're going through, okay? So I would have a dream, yeah, that I'm in this house, this main house, okay? So I'm seated, you know how you have like twin, so like seats like this, yeah, single sofas. And so I'm seated in one that is farthest from the door, kind of situation like this, because the door is just next to this sofa. So I'm cleaning up my bag, and I see our passports complete with that boarding pass, okay? So I am cleaning out my bag, so I take out my passports, my credit cards, and all of that, yeah. And I realize my bag is still dirty, so I go pour everything into a garbage can that is sort of behind the door. And I realize there's something I've lost, yeah. It's like I've thrown one of my cards there. So I come back and sit and I check, yeah, my card is seriously not there. So I go to the garbage can to check, okay? Yeah, and I find one of my cards there, perhaps plus some coins I've thrown away. So it's like this money situation, I'm not handling it well, yeah. And why? You know, God is now making me aware this money situation, you've not been handling it well, okay? So it's like you've been careless with money, you know, throwing it in the garbage and all of that, yeah. So go pick it. So I go pick it, and I come now, gather my things together. Then I rise up, yeah. And as I'm walking towards the door, I see a young man who used to court my cousin when we were young, yeah, one of my cousins. So as I see him, and I'm like, hey, you, what did you do to my cousin? Because by breaking her heart, you broke all of our hearts, yeah. And so my cousin comes from, this is another cousin. She comes from this main house, and I hadn't seen her, but now it's depicting, you know, like this is the main house where all these children, you know, come from, yeah, my cousins, you know, all of us, yeah. So she comes from inside. Now it is the land of the living. We are not seeing any of these dead people. She comes from inside and hugs this man on this corridor, yeah. So I leave them alone, and now I look on the right. I can see my mom just cleaning up her area. She's cleaning, she's sweeping, she's shaking dust from all the rugs, yeah, on the corridor. So just cleaning up, okay? Now in a dream that shows that this person is also now going through deliverance process, yeah. So getting rid of all the you know, nastiness, all the dirt, yeah. So I look on the other side. On the left side is where the bathroom and the toilet is. It's also like the section my dead aunt used to stay, yeah. And I see my cousin who was married before me come towards this corridor, okay? So we are both in this corridor. I stepped right into the corridor, and I see her just, you know, cleaning, moving back and forth. She's looking very nice. She dresses really sharp, yeah. And then I realized my sister is in the bathroom, okay? So also taking care of the mess, yeah? So she's cleaning up, yeah? So she's in the bathroom, it's locked and everything. So she's cleansing herself from the inside out, yeah? So then while we are on this corridor with my one of my cousins, it's here with the former boyfriend, Now this cousin who was married to a Meru before me cleans. I see that she's cleaning the corridor. In this corridor, even to date, I think unless they've repaired, it's a cemented corridor, but there's some holes in it, yeah. So like water can lodge in the holes. If you don't wipe properly, water will be left in the holes, yeah. And so I see my cousin wipe, and I realize, because I know her to be a very clean person, she really knows how to clean. How is it that the holes remained with some water? Okay, so that was so I go pick a duster at the corner. So I'm like, okay, maybe she can't see that she left some holes with water, so I'll come in and just clean and dry the water up properly. Okay, so that dream is showing my mom is cleaning, like all of us are working, yeah. And in this home where my cousin stays, the deliverance is happening, yeah. So it's no longer the land of the dead. You know, we are seeing all these people who are, you know, participatory, yeah, who have been participating in this, yeah. It's kind of why I didn't think of the other, you know, people, but each of these cousins, yeah, is representing their moms too, okay, representing their homes where they come from, yeah. And so the dream ends as I'm thinking of how much I'll clean. So this dream, if you're paying attention, you will notice it's like the other dream, yeah. I'm the one who is coming to finish this. So in fighting this battle, I've actually just fought for the family, yeah. So there are other things to be done, yes, but I see my mom is working on her own thing, you know, and there's an explanation why this one, this one cousin with the boy couldn't participate in this thing because she's busy with some guys, yeah, with some boys, yeah. And this other cousin tried, but for one reason or another could not dry the place properly. She's also very clean, wearing white pants, you know. So I know she's like trying to be careful not to get dirty, and me, I get right into the dirt. It means that she's been cleansing, she's been doing this work before me, and now I come to finish, okay? So as I'm telling you this, it's been 21 years. I know I've said it before. It's been 21 years, and as we were battling this, God was also settling us in many ways that I will tell you. We have stayed away from a church for, I think it's been, yeah, roughly 5 years, okay? So God was just teaching us in his own ways, and let me tell you, we really got into this, yeah. Sorry, a call was coming in. So we really got into the spiritual, and we didn't know why this was happening, but God now would reveal that you actually, as a couple, came into the spiritual age, yeah. And now this is a very important age, as I've come to realize, and I will tell you exactly why. Now there are things you didn't see maybe in the beginning of your marriage. You couldn't see because God was testing both of you, you know, and you guys were fighting some altars without knowing, just getting enmeshed together, yeah. And then perhaps the middle, which can also be quite messy, where you're growing, perhaps you're learning, yeah. And then there's that age now, you come to a place where you're mature in faith, mature in spirit. Perhaps you've even chosen each other and chosen to fight for your family and be committed to it. Now, when you come to that stage where you're, you know, elderly, yeah, you're older in this thing, you're older in your journey and all that, now God will reveal things to you so that now you walk from there with clarity, yeah. And that is why you see like a lot of older people have a very different kind of wisdom. They may tell you, they may not tell you what it is, but that is actually an accomplishment. Reaching this point is an accomplishment, yeah, to where now you're very confident, yeah. Maybe not very confident because you'll be tried in so many ways, but now you're stayed in the Lord, you're partnering with God, and so he will show you things in the spirit even before they happen, and that way you'll know what time it is, okay? So I'm going to leave this here. I hope it's very edifying to you, especially to people our age and older, so that you know what God is doing. And a lot of people will dream this as you're coming into rest, yeah. And it's not rest as you know it, as you overcome some things, yeah. So later, even when I'm dreaming these things about my son, where I am being told to sign a contract, he's going away, and I wake up, you know, out of the teachings of Kevin, you know, you should not sign a contract, yeah. So I didn't sign it. I wake up screaming, only for God to tell me, go sing this song, yeah. So as I went listening to that song, that is when I could hear what they're saying, yeah. So And so God would make me sing that song, and I sang it for like an hour on repeat. Yeah, so it's like, and now this part was very impressive to me because God was communicating to me, these idols have been broken. Yeah, so it was going like, it's Swahili. Ashera o degoni o bali miungu ya kigeni imevunjika, imeanguka, Mungu ni mmoja tu. It should be yameanguka, yamevunjika, Mungu ni mmoja tu. And this song says that all these gods, Asherah, Dagon, Baal, and the gods, the new gods that the Israelites were serving have fallen and broken. Yeah, there's only one God, and so by standing with this God, he actually sets your land free. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you with that, and I'm praying that God is taking you to a journey, or you have arrived there. Maybe you just needed some clarity. Okay, you guys who are fighting for your marriage and you want to understand if there's a future and a hope, just keep doing it. Yeah, if God should lead you out, there's no condemnation. He knows what he's doing with your life. Sometimes he will move you, you know, or take you away from your marriage because you're married to the wrong person who will not take you to the promised land. Yeah, and that is normal. It happens all the time. Yeah, so when you're stayed in God, sometimes he will show you you cannot walk with this person, especially if they are warlocks or witches. God will separate you from these people. Okay, so yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.